Hi guys, welcome to our m24.com YouTube channel. Name is Vadim, and today I will comment on our new video for you. Today we will disassemble the smartphone Xiaomi Black Shark 3. Disassembly has the third difficulty or hard in our difficulty rating classification and will be disassembly by detaching the display model. Unfortunately, we got this smartphone with a totally broken display model, and we just can't we just bought the new one, the display model, and attach it to the display model frame. So how to open the display model you can see in our new video on the YouTube channel. I will add the link under this video. So now the specialist open the display model, but in your case you should heat it up to 30 Celsius degree or 158 degree Fahrenheit for a few minutes with a heated mat or a heat gun, and spray some, I don't know, and use a plastic film wall sheet and move it along the edge, spray some isopropyl alcohol and open the display model. And now specialist screw two screws to remove the bracket that holds the display model cable, and at this point you can see that the cable displays it's glued tight, and also this cable it's so close to the edge of the smartphone, so when you open the display model you should remember its location, because to avoid any damage of this cable. Now we will unscrew one screw with a crosshead screwdriver or Phillips 1.5mm or Phillips H30. We remove the bracket now, and we should disconnect the connector. This connector for a display model, and it's connected to the motherboard. If you want to remove the motherboard, it's so important to open the display model and unscrew the screw and disconnect this connector. If you want to remove the batteries, it's also necessary to open the display model. But if you want to remove some parts like a vibration motor or an earpiece speaker, it's not necessary to open the display model. So on the display model we have the fingerprint sensor. I guess it's fingerprint sensor. Okay, we didn't disassemble the smartphone, and now we should heat the surface of the back cover up to 70 Celsius degree on 150 degree Fahrenheit for 5 or 7 minutes, and we use a heating mat. You can use a hair dryer. Okay, it's done, and now we should open the back cover. You see the shape of the back cover where it's X form, X factor, and now we put the plastic between the back cover and the housing, spray some isopropyl alcohol and try to move plastic to dry some adhesive base, and try to open the back cover. We'll do it for a few minutes, maybe more, and okay, we're try to move, we even see some pieces of the adhesive on the edge. Guys, be careful, and the place where the camera is located, be careful with the isopropyl alcohol. Spray some, but not too much, to avoid to damage lenses on the cameras. And try to move the plastic again. Maybe I told you, but not in this video, this plastic film is a protective film for the display model. We have some goods in our workshop, so we cut it into pieces and use it for the opening and as an opening tool. And yeah, don't rush. Our motto: slowly but surely. Move the plastic. Look at how it do the specialist, how he does it, and try to pray carefully. Spray isopropyl alcohol, and quite useful at this point to dry adhesive base. Try to pray and try to move the plastic film again. Now we see that the adhesive base still holds the back cover, but you know, there is some gap, and we have some hope that the back cover is glued just around the edges. Sometimes the back cover is glued to the middle of the at center of the smartphone, and it's quite difficult to unstick or open because there is cables, there is maybe other parts of the smartphone. So we continue to move the plastic, pray one side and bend the opposite side carefully, not do this so hard. And now try to open it, and we see the gap, we see what inside the smartphone, we can see the location, the cables. It helps us to avoid any damages. So we pray again, try to open, and I guess the specialist will open the back cover now. Yeah, he moves the plastic again for a few moves. Yeah, I guess he will try to open it now. Okay, we open it carefully, look what inside, what cables that connected to the back cover. So he doesn't move the cover away because the back cover connected to the motherboard with a cable. I guess on the back cover is located some LED that illuminate the logo. Now we should take a crosshead screwdriver 1.5 millimeters or Phillips H3O and screw few screws and remove the cover or metal bracket that secure the connectors and protect the connectors. Okay, we remove the bracket, disconnect the connector, and we can pull the back cover aside. Yeah, we see the logo on the back cover. I guess it's with a LED on the opposite side. You know, guys, this model of the smartphone remind me the all ones HTC with a, you know, some solution for many parts location. Now the specialist disconnect the battery connector and another battery, because the battery is located on the both sides. There is two batteries, and guys, you remember you should use a non-metal or plastic tool to disconnect the batteries connectors to avoid any damage. And now a few screws, the screwdriver and the same. And we often disconnect the connector with the metal tools. It's you know, we are accustomed to it. We know where is the edges, where the contact spot located at the center. We try to pry it for the edge, but if you do this first time, never use a metal tool, never use, because if you miss something, there will be damage for the entire smartphone. So only the plastic tools. Now try to pry and remove the frame that secure the motherboard. Under motherboard we see the heatsink, copper. It's large. Yeah, I like the design, and like the old HTC. Okay, at the top, at the bottom, we have cameras assemblies. I guess at the bottom there will be the loudspeakers assembly with antennas. And now we should use a crosshead screwdriver and unscrew the screws. I guess we should prepare some place to put all screws and brackets with the nuts, and because in this model many screws or brackets are different, and we should remember their locations. It's often happen when, especially in iPhones, when we mistakenly screw the long screw in the wrong place and can able to break the motherboard. So there is maybe the same story. The specialist showed that the many cables are glued, so we should remember it and do everything carefully. Now we should unstick this part. On this part located a microphone, and carefully to pry it open. Yeah, I guess we remove the parts of adhesive, and after that we can disconnect the connectors. We don't know what connector for what, but we need to remove the camera's assembly, so we disconnect all connectors in the area. And now what we see, we forgot about the one, so we disconnect this connector and remove the 3 cameras assembly. Okay, what we should do next, we should remove the plastic cover. It's 2 plastic parts. Okay, and there is 1 screw. It also should be placed in special. Yeah, it also should be removed and placed with the knot, that this screw for this cover under the camera's assembly. And now we can remove this part of plastic cover. Under this plastic, the earpiece speaker, I see. And we remove another part where there's motherboard with antennas, and we unstick the cable, long cable with the front camera. And now we carefully remove the front selfie camera. Don't rush. Yeah, okay, we're done. Okay, what we see here? There is headphone jack socket, connectors, the earpiece speaker, the SIM card holder, a few small boards for antennas, and also there is connectors that we need to disconnect to remove the motherboard. Okay, we move to the bottom part and try to unscrew the screws. We also use Phillips H3O screwdriver, unscrew screws, put the screws in the place where we can remember that the screws for the lower part. Okay, there is a few screws. Yeah, many screws are different. Now we should unstick the protective film that glued the copper heatsink that conduct the thermal energy or heat away from the motherboard, and stick tight. We should do it. We should use for this another tweezers, or now disconnect the coaxial cable. Okay, now we pray and remove the loudspeaker and put it aside. Now we should remove the motherboard, the specialist point at the charging port. You can see on the motherboard huge copper heatsink. I guess in our case we had agreement with the supplier who gave us this smartphone. We cannot remove the tight glued parts like charging port or another parts or some cables, but you guys, we're working for it's our enthusiastic work. We don't have a budget, but when we get budget, I hope in one day we will buy the smartphones on our own and tear this smartphone to pieces. But now we just can't able to do many things in many models, but in this case at least we can remove the motherboard and some parts. Now the specialists disconnect the coaxial cables. There are a lot of them, and we try to remove the motherboard. Yeah, there is a lot of coaxial cables. Try to pry it up and carefully remove. And guys, you see so large the heatsink, so massive copper layer. Now we take iPhone 2.5 millimeters screwdriver with thin tips at the end. We call it barrel screwdriver and barrel screws because of shape of the screw. Now try to pry at the ends of the motherboard, but I think we should disconnect some connectors and unstick this cable. This cable leads us to the microphone and the headphone jack socket. Okay, we carefully to remove the socket from its hole in the housing. Sometimes I don't know how to call this part. Sometimes it's housing, sometimes it's display module frame, but in this case I guess it's more like a huge entire part. I guess it's better to call it housing. Okay, we unstick the cable, and now we have space to unstick the motherboard, and we try to remove it. Okay, pry it carefully. Okay, pry it and try to remove. I guess the motherboard. Oh, we forgot about the coaxial cable. I guess the motherboard glued from the inside. From the inside where the battery is located, there is the huge protective film. Yeah, the film glued to the heatsink, the copper heatsink. So we unstick the film and try to carefully remove the motherboard. Okay, now we're done. We remove the motherboard. So I hold this motherboard in my hand. It's heavy because of copper, the heatsink, and so I guess we're done. There is batteries. On the other side we can see the earpiece speaker, small boards with SIM cards holders. There is vibration motor, charging port, some connectors, coaxial cables. Okay guys, I guess now we're done. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, watch our video, put the like or dislike, and guys, please take care of yourself.
Hi guys, thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe, share, rate us, and see you in the next video.